This is a 2020 Fender Vintera 50's Modified Stratocaster. And what makes it different from a normal 50's Stratocaster is that it has the 2-point tremolo and the S1 switching, and these pickups are reported to be a little hotter than the ones in the standard Vintera Strat. So this again is different. It's factory. These are factory modifications, 2-point tremolo, S1 switching, and pickups that are a little bit hotter, yet still pretty crisp and bright. So check it out. So again, this is a beautiful Daphne Blue 2020 Fender 50's Vintera Stratocaster Modified. Yeah, I know that's a long name, and Fender has really gone out of their way to make a lot of different long names for their various Strats. This is made in Mexico, and unlike the normal made in Mexico, like the Player Series, I think is the most popular thing, at least on Reverb right now. And those hover between, I guess, the 450 and 600 point, depending on year and condition and everything. What makes the Vintera series, and especially the Vintera Modified series, is that they're a step above that. And the Modified means it's got a few more modern accoutrements, 2-point bridge, like I mentioned before, slightly hotter pickups. But really what makes this Modified and what makes this a premium above most Mexi Strats, and why you should get this as opposed to something else made in Mexico, is the S1 switching. The pickup's a little hotter, but they're still really, really bright and articulate, wonderful sounding pickups on this thing. Just fabulous. I mean, nothing that I'm using to record this does it justice by any stretch of the imagination, but the S1 switching is the piece de la resistance, and that's really why you should be buying this. Now, right now, I've got this priced in the mid to high 8s. These are a little bit like 10.5 new, maybe 10.49 or something like that new, and you can find that online, I think, with shipping or free shipping or whatever. And I'll have this will probably stay in the 850 to 870 range for me depending on my mood. But I really wanted to show you and play around with the S1 switching. That was in the bridge pickup, excuse me, the neck position, which for most Strats is their bread and butter. Most people buy Strats with this tone in mind. And that's really why this guitar is underrated, because people, a lot of people buy guitars with a particular tone that they're chasing. Les Paul, they want to sound like one of the great Les Paul heroes, whether it's Jimmy Page or Slash or someone like that, early Clapton from the Beano record or whatever. And this kind of falls through the cracks as something that should be more desirable than what I'm seeing, because in positions 1 and 2, it adds another pickup, generally the neck pickup. And so in position 2, you can be playing with all 3 pickups, and then you just add the right amp, tube amp, right pedal, whatever, and you've got access to twice the number of tones that you normally would. Now I'm going to start out in the bridge position without the thing engaged. I'm going to have, instead of on 10, the brightest, thinnest, tinniest, quackiest tone, I'm going to have it on 9, and I do have a tube screamer available, but I'm going to just play a little bit of blues. So that's your typical sort of thin, kind of quacky, quirky, famous Strat tone for that position. I call it the birth of rock and roll, because that's really, you know, what we had in the 50s. I'm going to bring this down into a 7, so that'll thicken it up just a bit. Okay, so hit the S1 switch and that adds the bridge, and you will hear a difference in everything. S1 switching engage. Turn it off now. Back on. Off. Back on. Off. No question, the S1 switch, and it stays as bright, it stays as full. There's a little bit of a cut and treble, but not really noticeable, especially if you're going to record with this thing and things are going to get highly compressed. So adding that S1 switch is just incredible for fattening up tone, and it's just really great. Like I said, I think that these things are underrated. I don't think that they quite get the attention that they deserve, because the S1 switch at this price point isn't something that's normally offered. Again, this is under $1,000, and yes, it's a Mexican Strat as opposed to the vaunted and hallowed made in America. And I get that. I have a standard Strat made in America as well. It's my 99 with those custom pickups, and it's a beast, but it's also not quite as bright as this. And some people will say that's the maple neck, mine is rosewood, but these are just brighter pickups, and they're a little bit more articulate. And I have custom pickups made by a very expensive person, but very expensive company, but these give that a run for its money, especially in clarity. Just amazing. So let's go to position 2, and without the S1 switch. Sounds fantastic. That is without the S1 switch. That's just these two pickups on their own. Great moving sound, and venturing a little bit into that SRV-ish Stevie Ray territory. But now we hit the S1 switch. It's a little bit fatter, noticeably. And you know, that fatness, but that really bright, it's quacky and every kind of thing. That's what a lot of people have been praising the Telecaster for all these years. And I wouldn't say that it's mimicking that. It's a different thing entirely, but there's a fullness to the quackiness. These are terms only guitarists use. It's quacky, it's full, it's bright, it's thin, it's this. It's quacking, it's quirky, especially when you're talking about Fenders and their vaunted clean tone. And to that end, I do have a tube screamer, keeping it in this position, and then I'll move it into just the bridge. First I'll disengage the S1 switch, and turn on the tube screamer. Sounds fine. Sounds really good. That's tube screamer with the drive all the way down. I'm gonna put the drive on noon. Actually just 10 o'clock. Got tone on noon. Swear to God, that sounds like Zeppelin 1. Just me. Sorry, hope I didn't offend anybody with that. But that's without the S1 switch, so it's fantastic sound. S1 switch engage. Yeah, just yeah. That's the tone. That's the tone. That that has that undescribable, more going on feeling, more going on gut than anything else, aspect to it than anything that costs a lot more. I think to get into that range at this comfort level, you'd be paying $1,500 or more, or just find someone who's selling a great sounding vintage guitar and doesn't know what they have. But this literally punches above its weight class, just in that position, and that's put this thing on the bridge. Punches above its weight class in terms of what you're paying and the tone you get and the playability. And again, it's a little bright, but and I've just got the Tube Screamer on 10. So if you wanted to get another type of pedal, a Boss or whatever, and get a pedal with a damn EQ, or don't use a pedal. This thing punches above its weight class in terms of the quality of the tone you get. And I'm going to end this already overly long video at this point. I think you get the point that this is a fantastic sounding guitar, not just for the money, but the S1 switching and these really bright pickups and these punchy pickups. You can launch into a million great things from this at this price point. I've got it on sale in the mid to high eights. So check it out, pick it up. Okay, I'll send it off. If it's bought today or tomorrow, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm ready to ship this thing off.